Hello, everybody. Today we are going to review Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, unfortunately, I woke up late and was a little late to go see the movie, but I hopefully am going to be going to see it again on the weekend of the 23rd here. So I will do probably a re-review of the movie just so that I have the whole thing, just so that I've seen the whole thing, because I guess I missed Gore the God Butcher's like Gore the God Butcher's beginning story, like how he ended up getting his powers. Now I got to see enough of the movie. I think that I didn't really miss too much, but yeah, I think it's probably important to see exactly how he got his powers for sure, because well, obviously, and the Guardians of the Galaxy I know were at the beginning of the movie too, so I missed some stuff for sure. So yeah, I would say before we really get talking about the movie. Now, I know there was tons of hype around the Doctor Strange movie, and I think maybe they did too much hype on the part of the new Strange movie, just saying. Because, I don't know, it kind of just, I think, compared to this film, about how they were saying that, Doctor Strange was really going to be the piece or the movie that held Phase 4 together, and then it was kind of not really a Doctor Strange film. It felt like it was more like a Wanda film. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that they were the same directors that did both films. Now, I could be wrong. Yeah, so Sam Raimi filmed the Doctor Strange movie, which, I mean, it was good in its own right, but I feel like this film was just done better. And so far, honestly, besides Guardians of the Galaxy, I have to say the Thor films have, especially the last two, they're really kind of have been like my favorite as far as the Marvel movies go. I think they just tell a better story, right? Like the story is just far superior to a lot of the other stories that have been told. And he's had Chris Hemsworth has quite a few appearances now. 9, I think I counted last night in Marvel movies. So he's close to beating Hugh Jackman, I think, for appearances. Although I feel like Hugh Jackman is going to come back and do Wolverine at least one more time, just to say that he was the longest running person playing one character. Just to say that he has done that and, yeah, kind of put that stamp in being the most appearances. I think he'll probably just do that because he wants to keep that record going, right? But I guess we'll see, because we have had candidates as to potentially who the next Wolverine could be. And God, if they pick somebody super young, they could have them playing Wolverine for quite some time. So yeah, kind of interesting to think about that, and yeah, see where that storyline goes, or see if Hugh Jackman comes back. So in this one, we know that Jane is dying. She has stage 4 cancer. I'm not really sure where the cancer is, or whether it's just all throughout her body and she just doesn't, and her body is just not fighting it off. And she hears, oh my God, I know I'm going to butcher the name, Mjolnir calling to her. I probably butchered the name of his hammer, but yeah. They said it so many times last night, I'm surprised I'm still butchering the name, but so she hears the hammer calling to her, so she thinks that maybe if regular medicine isn't working, that the hammer will work to help cure her. But it turns out that the hammer is just killing her faster, even though she feels great when she has it in her hands. It is causing the cancer to spread faster, I guess, and also causing her body to, yeah, shut down and basically make it almost impossible for her body to fight the cancer. So uh, eventually it gets to the point where she picks up the hammer one more time, she's just going to die anyway and end up in Valhalla. But now that she's, yeah, because she's part of the Viking, I guess, crew now, she feels that she needs to die in battle as opposed to just laying in a hospital bed and not having any significance, right, in life. That was the whole Viking code, was to die in battle, or yeah, I guess that was the Viking code, just to die in battle. To die in battle was the highest honor, right? So kind of makes sense that she ended up grabbing a hammer again, even though I was like, oh, don't do it, Jane. Like, come on, what are you doing? So anyway, obviously we know that Chris Hemsworth was playing Thor in this movie. Natalie Portman was playing Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor, because she gets the hammer. And the hammer's powers were awesome in this movie, because I remember it being broken in Thor Ragnarok. And I'd actually kind of forgotten about that, but then when they did the little acting skit with the other actors at the very beginning of the movie, which was, this movie was very comical, although it did have tons of action in it. It was definitely more on the comical side for sure, even though the action sequences and the villain was probably one of the more serious ones as far as that goes in this movie. And I guess he lost his daughter at the beginning, so I'm glad they explained that at least as to why why Gore was trying to get revenge on, or trying to, yeah, just basically take over, I guess. And seemed that he was, yeah, I guess maybe he was trying to, I don't, yeah, they didn't really explain why he was capturing the kids, other than really to his daughter being the one that died, and maybe he thought the other kids didn't deserve to live. Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that part of it. But anyway, or I guess he wanted to be able to open the gate, and he was just trying to find some way to bring Thor to him, and he knew that the kids would be used like good bait to bring Thor, because obviously he's going to save the kids of Asgard, right? Asgard, because that would be the next generation of children in Asgard that would, continue on the Asgardian lives, yeah, the Asgardian people, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say here. And it was absolutely hilarious when he first meets Jane, and the scene at the beginning when he, I'm not sure what planet they were on, because I missed, like, I think probably about the first 15 minutes of the movie, so, but when he's fighting the bad guys on that planet, and then says that he did it with very minimal damage, and the whole, like, city just starts falling down around him, and he goes, another, another adventure of the mighty Thor, another grand adventure of the mighty Thor. It's just, oh my God, absolutely hilarious. Uh, oh yeah, Tessa Thompson played King Valkyrie. Takai Wahati played Korg and Old Cronin God. Russell Crowe was Zeus, and I think, oh yeah, and then Jamie Alexander was Sif. And obviously we had the Chris Pratt playing Peter Quill, Star-Lord, Dave Bautista as Drax at the very beginning of the film, Karen Gillian, Nebula. I don't even think that's the same girl that played her before. Paul Clementif as Mantis, Sean Gunn as Craiglin, and on-set Rocket, Vin Diesel as Groot, Bradley Cooper, we know who voices Rocket. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Besides the appearances by Matt Damon and who was the other actor that was? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Melissa McCarthy that was in there. I'm surprised they're not higher up on the list. But maybe they were uncredited. That doesn't seem to make any sense, because they were in the film more than once. I kind of want to know now who the actors were that were acting out the scenes from before on the stage, because I swear to God, I know Matt Damon was one of them. And Dancing God, oh come on. Are they really that far down here? Oh wow, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so Matt Damon was actor Loki. Oh, Luke Hemsworth. Okay, so the other brother was actually, their third brother was actually in this movie. Okay, that's absolutely hilarious. Was Who was played the actor Thor? And Melissa McCarthy was actor Helia. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, that was funny seeing that little comedic bit on stage where they were doing that. And when they leave the first planet they're on after Thor goes a separate way from the Guardians, even though we know that he is going to be rejoined with them at some point, hopefully in the next Guardians of the Galaxy film, I would imagine he's going to be in that. Um, So yeah, it's going to be interesting. That was just so funny. And so when they leave the planet, they end up having to take these goats with them. I guess because they said they would do that. I'm not really sure why, but oh my God, the goats just. I couldn't help but laugh every time they travel somewhere. The goats would just be screaming, no matter whether they were going through the portal to take them home or to the next location or whatever. And obviously, him switching weapons throughout the movie and Stormbreaker getting mad at him due to the fact that he wanted Mjolnir more. And I mean, I guess he does kind of fall back in love with Jane again, so we'll see where that story goes because now she's in Valhalla and she is in there with Idris Elba's character came back. I'm going to actually look at his name because, yeah, that was a big thing. And we do know that he is going to be fighting Hercules in the next movie. And if you know anything about the comic, we all know how that goes for Hercules. So I can't imagine that it's going to go very well. And Brett Goldstein plays Hercules. Yeah, oh yeah, Heimdall was in Valhalla, and I guess he is the, I don't want to say leader, but I guess maybe he is the top guy in Valhalla now, I suppose. That would make sense because he probably had the most power. Um, so yeah, we're going to see, I guess, whether Heimdall and Jane are in the next Thor movie. I can't imagine they wouldn't be, because I would imagine she's going to find a way out of Asgard, and probably maybe Heimdall will find a way to cure her while she's in Asgard and send her back um, cancer free. That's my prediction. That's my prediction anyway. Um, and it was cool the scene where they go into the Shadow Realm and they fight Gore when they're there. And the scene with Zeus was cool, realizing how corrupt all the gods actually are. And it looked like Thor had killed him, but obviously I think Zeus is a little more powerful to die from one blast, right? Um, so we know at some point Thor is probably going to be fighting Zeus too after he defeats Hercules. That might all be in the next movie, so I'm expecting the next Thor movie to be pretty long. And I think maybe the next Thor movie is. Somebody was saying one of my buddies that I went to see it with last night was saying that it's supposed to be sometime next year. But I don't see it here anywhere. So interesting. Maybe we'll look it up and see. Thor. Yeah, I don't see anything yet as to when the next Thor movie is going to be. But I know Guardians of the Galaxy is coming next year, I do believe. Good Lord. Yeah, 2023, next year. And I believe Chris Hemsworth is in it, so they're probably... I think he is anyway. Maybe he just makes an appearance. He's got to be in it, because I believe he's supposed to be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy anyway. So I can't imagine him not being in it. Interesting. Doesn't say that he is, but I can't imagine there's not going to be some sort of appearance from him. Maybe he's not credited this high up, but that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so they're leaving him out of it anyway. Yeah, so the two post-credit scenes are obviously Zeus talking with Hercules, and then Heimdall and Jane when she gets transported into Valhalla. That's after the credits. So yeah, I was surprised at how many people left the theater last night before the credits were even over, because it's classic for Marvel movies to have end credit scenes, so I don't know why anybody gets out of their seats and leaves, because you're missing important pieces to the story. But maybe people just don't care, but I mean, you're paying good money for a movie, why would you not want to sit there when you know there's the chance of an end credit scene, right? Certain movies I understand, like when they're like musical pictures where it's a story, there's probably not going to be anything, but lots of movies I will sit there to see if there's something after the credits, because you never know. And Marvel movies are classic for doing that, so I never understood why people just get up and leave at a Marvel movie. But anyway, what else can I say about the story? Um, yeah, I don't really know. I think I pretty much covered everything. Oh, there was one scene, obviously, when they're fighting Gore in the Shadow Realm, right? That was cool. The whole black and white concept, and the only colors were what was coming out of the weapons. And when Gore makes his wish, Thor tells him to choose love, so he brings back his daughter, and Gore dies, but I'm not really sure. Maybe he was just so corrupted by the weapon that it just had drained him of all life. I'm not really sure because he didn't really seem to have any serious wounds, so I guess maybe he was just dying from the weapon. Maybe the weapon was too powerful; it had corrupted him too much. Kind of confused by that a little bit. Now, were some of the lines in this movie corny? Yes, but I think they were still delivered well. I feel like that was almost on purpose. Some of the overly corny lines in this movie, and it just felt right for this movie. Like it almost felt like those scenes were done on purpose. Where yeah, maybe not. Maybe they made a few mistakes, but yeah, it just seemed like that is his directing style. Um, yeah, that just seems like it's uh, Takai Waititi's style. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. I've probably said it about three different ways now. I know I should know how to pronounce his name because I've seen him in other films too. But anyway, yeah. What was I saying there? Yeah, King Valkyrie almost dies in that scene, and everybody in the theater went, "Oh no," because it's just like no, she can't die yet. She's got to be more important, right? Well, luckily she was. Um, and then she's training the next generation of children, obviously, to defend Asgard now, because we all, which is good because we know the next enemy is going to be super powerful because Hercules is super powerful. But also the ending scene uh, where Thor uses his powers on all the weapons and basically makes an army of children, and they're just going through the shadow monsters. That was absolutely insane. So yeah, this movie was definitely comedic, but also completely action packed, and I feel like so far, this is the film that is going to hold Phase 4 in its place, right? Because I don't think Doctor Strange did enough with the whole multiverse thing. They should have touched on that way more in that movie. I believe I even say that in my review of Doctor Strange. So, yeah, I just wish they had done more as far as the multiverse goes. I'm trying to think of what else there was in this movie. Obviously, oh yeah, so he starts taking care of the kid. He starts taking care of Gore's kid, and he goes back to Mjolnir, his old hammer, and gives the kid Stormbreaker. So I'm kind of interested to see what the powers she is going to bring to that hammer is going to be when she gets older, because they don't really show much because she's just a kid, but she is extremely strong, and obviously has dark powers, but I believe that um, Thor is going to train her to use them for good, obviously, as where her own father probably would have ended up corrupting her, I think. So it's probably a good thing that Thor is going to take care of Gore's kid, and I don't really know if Gore will be back. I can't see it because I'm not really sure where he would have went to. Yeah, obviously it wasn't a good place because he was corrupted by the weapon, right? And I believe that is supposed to be Blade's sword, is it not? I'm trying to remember the name of the sword. Oh, and Korg being almost killed, and I guess his face was the only living part of him, and so um, Valkyrie ends up having to tie tie his face into her hair and carry him around when they were fighting on when they were fighting in the when they were fighting Zeus there. Oh my God, in that part of the movie. And then Korg ends up creating a baby with another. So I guess the way they do it is it's actually, yeah, they have a very weird custom on their planet. So it's two male. Um, what is Korg's? Anyway, it's two males, and they basically just lock arms, I guess, and they're over a lava pit, and that's how their babies are created. There was a little bit more to it. He explains it a lot better than I did, but yeah, I'm kind of trying to fathom how babies are created in the planet. It's very weird. The multiverse is just a very weird place, and now that we're getting into more planets and everybody's backstories, it's just like it's just absolutely hilarious how some of the things go down. Some of this movie was definitely a little too real, like when Korg was talking to Valkyrie about her relationships and stuff. It's just like, wow, that hit deep. But anyway, definitely far superior to the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness movie, and I gave this one a 10 out of 10 because yeah, this one was just way better. So I'm looking forward to. I'm not even sure what the next one is going to be. I think it's probably Guardians of the Galaxy, right? It has to be. Because Deadpool, when is Deadpool coming out? When is the next Deadpool coming out? Deadpool, come on. Deadpool 3. Oh, Deadpool 3 is next year, too. Production announced. Okay. Interesting. So Deadpool 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, obviously. What else is coming as far as Marvel goes? I'm trying to think. I think that might be it for right now, to be completely honest. Oh, I guess maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp? Is that a happening thing? Oh yeah, next year Ant-Man and the Wasp coming next year too. Okay, in post-production. Oh, expected February 17th, 2023. Okay, so I guess that's the next one then. Because Guardians of the Galaxy is after that, if I'm remembering correctly, I do believe. So yeah, I guess we got a lot of things to look forward to at the beginning of next year as far as Marvel goes. Okay, so May 5th. And then Deadpool, we're not sure on a date on that yet. And then obviously all the DC movies are basically the end of this year, except for Aquaman. It's been pushed back till next March now, so I guess we'll see what happens there as far as what that movie is going to be like now because of all the things that have been happening, right? But I don't really think there's anything else I can touch on. I think I've pretty much talked about everything I can, and yeah, I guess that's it for this review. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.